Hello. Hi. Thank you so much for tuning in. You are my tunas in the chat. Hello, hi. If you're new here, I'm FEARSONA. You can call me Sona, and I'm your friendly neighborhood true crime VTuber, here to give you full body chills with some innocent looking photographs with very disturbing backstories. But before we get to that, before we jump to that, I'm gonna tell you this story, another story, because it's great. Okay, so I just saw it. I just saw this story. I don't know that much detail about the story, but I just saw it and I was just like, what? This is the unluckiest bear in the world. Okay, let me explain. Hello. Wait, let me just say hi to the chat. Dino, Alex, Undead Rabbit, Tokyo, Fabian is here, Demon Taker, who else? Eric, thank you so much for modding the stream, and Light AMV, hello, and Jose, hi, and Twilight Assassin, yay, first FEARSONA stream, been watching your recordings a while. Oh, that's awesome, that's amazing. Thank you so much for tuning into, you know, like to catch the stream live, and I hope you enjoy my previous streams, my past cases, everything else. I know that some of them are weird, okay? I realize, I'm aware, you know what you're in for. What you've signed up for. The John Active, hi, and Lorelei Smith, hello, and Archetype, hi. Who else? Wait, did I miss someone? I think I missed someone. Trey Brewer, hi, hello, and Jay. I saw Jay before, but yeah, hi. Okay, you guys, just so you know, the moment you stepped into this stream and messaged in the chat, you're locked in. You're not allowed to leave, okay? You're staying here. Because I'm not talking about these scary stories alone. I'm not looking at those pictures alone. And yeah, that's the rule. Okay. So back to the story that I just saw. It's the story of the unluckiest bear in the world. Let me explain. So there's this bear. Look at this picture. This is the bear. If you look at this picture, you kind of think like, oh, well, that's a weird looking polar bear, right? Like, oh, it's, you know, it's a polar bear, but he has a pink nose. Well, I mean, that can happen, right? No, that's not a polar bear. That is a grizzly bear with albinism, an albino grizzly bear. And his name is Joey. Also, Melissa, thank you so much for being a member for 3 months. I'm ready for photos with disturbing backstories. We're gonna get to that in a minute. This one is a photo of the unluckiest bear in the world. So that is a grizzly bear with albinism named Joey. And Joey was living his life like any other grizzly bear in the North American forest. He was hunting, he was living his life, minding his own business, right? It just so happens that he looks like a polar bear. And what happened on one day, some people from animal protection organization saw Joey, noticed him, and they thought, oh no, how did a polar bear get to the North American forest? Well, let us you know, fix that. So they tranquilized Joey, transported him to the Arctic, and left him there. But Joey wasn't a polar bear. Joey was smaller than a polar bear. He was a grizzly bear. He wasn't supposed to be there. He didn't know how to hunt in the Arctic. And also other polar bears, because they are bigger and a little bit more scary than Joey, they started bullying him because he's, you know, they thought he was a polar bear, but you know, he was a different bear. So they were just like, what the fuck are you doing here? So yeah, he was being bullied. No, he didn't freeze. He was okay, but you know, he was having a hard time hunting because other polar bears were attacking him. And eventually some other people from another animal protection organization like kind of noticed that, oh, this polar bear looks kind of weird. He has this more yellowish white fur. So they looked into it and they realized like, oh shit, that's a grizzly bear, right? So they took him, tranquilized him, transported him back to the North American forest and left him, right? Like, so Joey is back home. Everything good. Except another organization noticed him, tranquilized him again because they thought he was a polar bear, and transported him back to the Arctic, right? And Joey was back in the Arctic. And then, but this time he had like more experience. So he knew, okay, well, this area is too cold for me. I can't hunt here. I know that I cannot face these other polar bears. So Joey started running towards like warmer areas. He was just trying to get out of the cold area. And so he's running in those like warmer areas, right? Like he's running towards warmer areas. Someone notices him, thinks that he's a polar bear, and calls another animal organization. They tranquilize him and they transport him back to the fucking Arctic. Why? But then I think after a while, no, wait, no. Okay, not to the Arctic. Sorry, not to the Arctic. I mix it up. So they transport him not to the Arctic, to a zoo and put him in the polar bear exhibit with other polar bears. It sucks. So now he's like in this enclosure with other polar bears. But eventually someone noticed, like one of the employees there, they were like, wait a minute, this is not a polar bear. I think they also recognized, like they knew about this story. And why is it? Oh, come on. I love how everyone's just like, oh, come on. Yeah, justice for Joey. No worries. Don't worry about it. Like the employee actually noticed Joey, and they knew about this story. So they were like, hey, this is actually a grizzly bear. That's not a polar bear. Let's get him out of here, because holy shit. So they got him out of the enclosure. They tranquilized him, and so many tranquilizers, but they tranquilized him and transported him back to his home in the Northern American forest. He is free. He is fine. But I hope they took like measures. I hope they actually like put up signs that, hey, if you see a bear that looks like a polar bear here, it's not a polar bear. It's just a grizzly bear with albinism. Leave him alone. Leave Joey alone. Jamie, thank you so much for being a member. I hope the bear is okay. I think now he's okay. As far as I know, like he's back home and he's fine. But boy, did he have to go through quite an adventure. Oh my god. Oh my god. So many like those you would think that animal organization would like share this kind of information between each other, like, hey, so this is happening, this is a very special case, please don't quote unquote rescue this polar bear because it's not a polar bear. But Joey, I hope you have a good life. I hope you live a good life. I hope nobody bothers you anymore. Like, just leave him alone. Oh my god. Taxman for your IRS. Thank you so much. The polar bears will be taxed. Ketsuya, thank you so much. Oh my god. Ketsuya gifted 10 memberships. Wow. Okay, thank you so much, Ketsuya. I appreciate it. And please, first, congratulations to everyone who got the membership. And please remember to say thank you to Ketsuya in the chat. They should give him a t-shirt with the words "not a polar bear." Seriously. Seriously, they should like mark him somehow, or like, yeah, put up signs or a t-shirt and just be like, "Not a polar bear. Don't touch." Do not tranquilize, do not get me to the Arctic. I'm gonna die. Polar bears are gonna bully me. And yeah, like he was having quite a hard time because like polar bears are much bigger than grizzly bears. So like he had to go through a lot. Also, Joshua, thank you so much for a super chat. Joey's bizarre adventure. Jojo's bizarre adventure. Oh my god, this is so true. This is so true. Oh my god, poor Joey. He truly had a bizarre adventure. You're just like, where the fuck am I? Where is the forest? Why is it so cold? That's horrible. Oh, just a big sign. White grizzly, do not move him. Seriously. Or not a polar bear. Do not touch. Do not move. Do not tranquilize. Oh god. That's such a story. I don't know, like it's on one hand, like in the end at least it was he went back home, so but truly a story of the unluckiest bear in the world. Man. Okay, so today, hi. Hello. So today we have some truly disturbing backstories from photos that at first glance are very innocent looking. Before we jump to that, as for the schedule for this week, tomorrow we have another episode of Fearcast, and I'm gonna be talking with my moderators, and I'm gonna get on a call with my moderators and my Patreon members, Ruby and Diamond Tiers, to chat about our experiences with the supernatural, UFOs, whatever creepy encounters we might have had in the past, or our encounters, or our family and friends encounters that we know of. I have quite a few stories from my grandpa, my own, I have two of my own, and then I'm very, very curious to hear what others are gonna tell me, right? Like what stories I'm gonna hear from my mods and my Patreon members. Looking forward to it. Yeah, like that one starts also at 6 p.m. Pacific time, so same time. And then technically I do have on my schedule, I put the birthday celebration with the military polygraph test, but I still haven't gotten the package. I'm waiting for it today. If it doesn't get to me today or tomorrow, honestly, I might have to reschedule. I might have to move the birthday celebration stream. Well, I mean, I definitely will have to move the celebration stream for another day, for whenever the machine gets here. And instead, we're gonna have a case. So, like, if the polygraph doesn't get to me, because the package from the other day, that wasn't the polygraph, that was something else. I had to pick it up, but yeah, you know. Fear Grandpa, I will be missing that one. Too much work. No, Kitsuya. Okay, no worries, no worries. Like, I'm sure it's super late for you, so don't worry about it. I hope you can get some rest. So yeah, the birthday celebration, the polygraph test. If the machine doesn't get here today or tomorrow, then I will have to switch the stream to a case. So we're gonna just have a case on Monday. Okay, let me switch to... Is it working? Okay. Okay, so let's start with the disturbing photo. Well, I mean, the innocent looking photos with disturbing backstories. So the first photo, wait, let me... Great. I have scuff as always. So let's take a look at this first photo, if I can. Oh my god. If it works, if my stupid... Wait, hold up. Hold up, because I kind of messed up my settings as always. Oh, the scuff is real. Okay, so the first photo. This is a very innocent looking picture of, you know, cars and pedestrians crossing the Hoover Dam Bypass Bridge in Colorado. So pay attention to the woman standing on the bridge, looking over the edge. This is 42-year-old Heather Price Papayori. And only moments after this picture was taken on January 16th, 2014, between 4:50 and 5 p.m., Heather climbed over the railing and jumped, taking her own life. So the tragic photo of Heather was taken completely coincidentally by this 46-year-old Francesca Bosco from Boulder City, Colorado, who just happened to be... Francesca was just on this, like, in the area. She was there to capture pictures of the sunset and the bridge. After the tragedy, after Heather jumped, you know, having witnessed the moment that she jumped, Francesca said this, quote, "If only I had known she was going to do this, I would have definitely tried to help her. But how could I have known? How could anybody have known?" End quote. Unfortunately, just as Francesca turned around to take some pictures of the canyon from the other side, Heather jumped. So it was literally that moment. She took a picture of Heather, she turned around, she turned away to take a picture from the other side, and Heather, right then and then, she jumped. Heather was reported missing earlier in the week in Arizona by her mother, who said that her daughter had been struggling with suicidal thoughts for a while, but she was getting treatment. So investigation revealed that Heather had mentioned her wish to take her own life before, but had been receiving treatment at a behavioral health facility in Tampa. I think that's how you Tampa. And it seemed like she was slowly recovering from her depression and getting her life in order. So there were no signs anymore, at least, like that she was interested in taking her own life. Like, according to her mother, no, she was getting the treatment, you know, she was getting so much better. And this was out of the blue, right? The death happened out of the blue. So her death was concluded to be suicide. There were no signs of any form of foul play. No one coerced Heather to jump. Francesca actually noticed something incredibly sad about Heather's behavior that day, and she said, quote, "It seemed like she was waiting for everybody to turn their heads and not see her. She had it all planned out. Such a terrible tragedy." I mean, yeah, it was an incredible tragedy, and it is sad that Heather was kind of walking on that bridge and waiting for everyone to turn away. She didn't want people to see what she was about to do, and she didn't want people to see this tragedy, so she was just kind of walking up and down the bridge. And I think that actually the car in the picture, it might have been the taxi that Heather took, like the taxi that arrived with Heather on that bridge. And the car is just seen kind of driving away. Incredibly sad story, and it's just like, when you know the story behind this picture, well, the picture is beautiful, but when you know the story, then yeah, the picture is incredibly sad. Okay, here's another innocent looking picture that hides an incredibly dark backstory. So take a look at this photo. A man in the yellow sweater is posing for the picture with his son. There are plenty of people around. The street seems fairly busy. Everyone is walking in their own direction. Everyone is enjoying the nice weather that day. And then there's a red car visible behind the man and his son, right? Like you see this car on the right side of the photo, right? Well, this red car was loaded with explosives that detonated only moments after this photo was taken. The incident is now known as the Omagh bombing incident. The tragedy occurred on August 15, 1998 in a small town in Northern Ireland, and it was truly devastating to the local and global communities. So the bombing was carried out by the Real Irish Republican Army, Real IRA, which is a dissent splinter group of the Provisional IRA that opposed the Good Friday Agreement. Now, the Good Friday Agreement is a pair of agreements from 1998 that meant to end a 30-year-long ethno-nationalist conflict in Northern Ireland. It was a huge step towards peace and a step closer to cooperation between the British and Irish governments. Well, not everyone agreed. Not everyone wanted what the Good Friday Agreement proposed, and some people decided to take action in the worst way possible to stop the agreement. The bomb was placed in this red car or maroon car, and it contained 500 pounds or 225 kilograms of homemade explosive. That's a lot of explosive. The bomb then detonated at 3:10 p.m. On this busy shopping street, as you can see in the picture, resulting in the highest death toll from a single incident in the Troubles, which is the name of the 30-year-long conflict. And in this incident, 29 people died as a result of the bombing, and 220 people were injured. The Real IRA gave 3 telephone warnings about 40 minutes before the explosion, but the information was imprecise and misleading, and police efforts to evacuate the area, basically, because it was confusing where the bomb was placed, when police started to try to evacuate people in the area, they actually directed people straight towards the bomb, which in the end increased the number of casualties. The man in the yellow sweater that you see in the picture and his son that's sitting on his shoulders, they actually survived the bombing. They were seriously injured, but they survived. Sadly, the photographer, the person who took the picture, died in the explosion. And in response to the bombing, the British and Irish governments enacted stricter anti-terrorism measures, including the Terrorism Act of 2000 in the UK. Several individuals associated with the real IRA were arrested after the incident, but securing convictions was very difficult. It took a while. It only happened in 2009, when 4 men were found liable in a civil case brought by victims' families and were ordered to pay damages. Doesn't change the fact that 29 people lost their lives and 220 people were seriously injured. It's crazy. Like, this could have been avoided. This could have, not that many people could have died, or no people could have died. Like, had this not happened, had the police also gotten the right information, and had they led people away from the bomb, but instead they kind of directed more people to the bomb because they were just so confused where this bomb was located. I heard about the car bomb, but not directly until today. Yeah, like that's a very interesting. I didn't know about this before I saw this picture. I was just like, oh, what is it about? Like, what is it about this picture? Like, yeah, like I just saw this picture the other day and I added it to today's stream. Yeah, I had no idea about this incident, but yeah, very, very incredibly sad, horrifying incident. Okay. And then, rest in peace for the victims. Exactly. 29. That's, yeah, I think that's the biggest, death toll in one incident in Northern Ireland's history. I first heard about the car bomb mixed drink from Family Guy. What? Is this stuff that's happened now, or... Well, yeah, it's real stuff. Like, I mean, it's real. These are real pictures and real stories. This one is from 1998, so it's not now. It's 30 years old. Justice for the cameraman. Yeah, I think that's the saddest part, that, the people who were in the picture, and you would think like, oh, these 2 people were standing so close to the car. Like the yellow sweater guy and his son, they're standing so close to this car. You would think that they would be the ones to lose their lives in this incident. No, it was like they survived, the photographer died. Incredibly sad. Okay, so the next photo. The next photo isn't so innocent. Because one look and it's pretty clear what happened. It's pretty clear what we're looking at. But the full story of this photo is so much worse and so sad, so much sadder. So the man in the picture, who appears to be falling from a plane that's already in the air, is not an adult man at all, but a 14-year-old kid. And this kid's name was Keith Sapsford. Keith was actually known for his adventurous spirit and curiosity about the world. His family had recently returned from an extensive trip abroad, and Keith was reportedly eager for more travel, which ended very badly for him. On February 22nd, 1970, Keith managed to sneak onto the tarmac at Sydney Airport, and then he climbed into the wheel well of a Douglas DC-8 jet airliner bound for Tokyo, Japan. To paint a clear picture, the wheel well in which Keith crawled in of an aircraft is this, it's a pretty dangerous place for stowaways. First of all, it lacks oxygen at high altitudes, so there's no oxygen. There's extreme temperatures, and also it's subject to mechanical movements when the landing gear retracts and deploys, because that's the place where where the wheels kind of retract and deploy. You see where I'm going with this. So as the plane took off, the landing gear retracted and the wheel well doors closed. So Keith was inside, he was still safe. But shortly after takeoff, the doors reopened to retract the landing gear, and Keith fell from the plane, and he fell from a significant height and tragically died upon impact. There was no way that he could have been saved. Why did he even do that? That's the thing. Like, he was a teenager, he didn't know better, he was curious, and he never assumed. I don't think, like, I think the story is that he thought that this plane wasn't going anywhere anytime soon, and it was just too late. Like, he got on the tarmac, the plane was still at the gate, and he just crawled in. He wanted to, like, check what's in there, what's in that area, right? Like, because he's been on planes, but he's just been in the cabin and not in the actual, like, stowaway area or the cargo area. So he was just curious. He's just like, oh, I want to see what's in that part of the plane. I'm just gonna look for a moment. But he never realized that the plane is gonna, like, start basically taking off. And yeah, unfortunately, like, he was stuck at the moment when the plane started moving. He was stuck. But okay, so how did we get this photo in the first place? Because it's a weird, you know, I mean, yeah, it's such a coincidence that how would someone know that someone's gonna be falling out of the plane? And plus, that's 1970. Cameras were not as advanced. They were taking a while to take a photo. Like, it was a longer process to take a photo, right? So John Gilpin, an amateur photographer, was at Sydney Airport taking photographs of airplanes. And when he captured the precise moment Keith fell from the plane, he actually didn't know that what he had just taken a photo of. Like, first of all, he didn't realize that Keith was falling out of the plane. He never noticed that there was someone falling out of the plane. And he did not realize the tragic scene in the photograph until he developed the film about a week later. So, you know, like, because previously cameras, the analog cameras, they had those, like, rolls of film. So you would just take pictures, finish the roll, and then you would take the roll of film to be developed. And that takes about a week. That takes a few days. So unfortunately, the photographer didn't actually know that he captured the moment Keith fell out of the plane. And well, in the aftermath of the incident, the airport and airline management were prompted to ramp up security measures to prevent unauthorized access to restricted areas, such as the tarmac, such as the planes that are parked and at the gates and waiting for takeoff. Because holy shit, how did they not see him? Man, flying in the 70s were just like, people were built different, I think, or it was built different. I mean, yeah, like, you could still, in the 70s, you could absolutely, like, smoke on the plane. That's the thing, like, oh, it was so very different than flying today. Like, it was vastly different. You could smoke in the cabin. I think you had, the food was, it wasn't like, oh, first class. There was no I don't think there was, like, first class. Everything was first class because, like, tickets were expensive, so only pretty wealthy people could fly. And yeah, like, the food was just all first class. The plates were not paper or plastic. It was just all, like, glass and everything. It was crazy. And also no security, like, virtually no security checks. Like, there wasn't much that was happening, right? Like, everything was safe. So yeah, like, well, I mean, it was safe. I guess it was safer. Like, it wasn't, like, as security wasn't as sensitive, right? Like, now we have all those security checks, which is good. Which obviously it's good. You need security checks, but yeah, unfortunately, this happened because of kind of lax security. How was he able to be alive if there was no oxygen? Well, at certain altitudes. This plane is just taking off, so there was still oxygen at this point. At higher altitudes, this area does not have oxygen. So he fell out when, the plane is, like, just taking off. And it just so happens that the height was, it was high enough for him to die on impact. Yes, science. Sure. Sorry, my dog needed something. No worries. Take care of your doggo. What's the deal with airplane food? I know, right? Like, previously, well, I mean, yeah, it's just that previously it was all the first class food, but then it was the economy class, so our food got downgraded. So what we get is the downgraded food. He's falling so fast, but cameraman managed to picture it without noticing. Well, yeah, because he was taking... I think it's like, it's also zoomed in. It's also very much like zoomed in. So it's not like the whole picture was like, oh, of the whole airplane, maybe like a bigger area. And the photographer definitely, like, he, you know, he said like he did not notice what was happening. Because he was taking picture of like the view, right? Like of the tarmac and the plane taking off. Cameraman taking shots like he's a sniper. Well, he never realized. He didn't realize. He saw it a week later that he actually captured the moment when Keith fell out. Okay. So the next picture. Let's go to the next story. So this picture is very innocent looking. 3 friends. They are posing for a selfie, smiles on their faces, and, you know, nothing out of the ordinary. It seems like they're having a great time, but not quite, because see, if you look in the top right corner of this image here, you notice this bright light behind the 3 girls. That is a train. That is a train that is approaching the girls, the 3 girls, at a fast speed. And the girls are actually standing on the tracks. So the girls in the photo are 15-year-old Essa Ricker, or Riker, I guess Riker, 13-year-old Kelsey Webster, and 15-year-old Savannah Webster, so the sisters. And that day, the 3 of them decided to go for a walk and take some pictures on the train tracks in Spanish Fork Canyon. They were actually, those were like 2, I think there were 2 train tracks, so they were like tracks that have trains like going in opposite direction. So the area where they were taking photos was a section of, yeah, like double tracks. So 2 sets of train tracks, parallel, I can't pronounce this word, I'm sorry, parallel to each other. Fucking hate parallel. Fuck you, parallel. Okay, so those are 2 sets of train tracks that are running parallel to each other. I excuse my English, I excuse my pronunciation. This added complexity and danger, as trains could come from either direction on either tracks. And while the girls were on the tracks, 2 trains were approaching from opposite directions. And the first train passed, they saw that train, right? So that train passed, but they were struck by the second train coming from the opposite direction that they didn't notice. So this train in the picture, that was the one that struck them. And the impact was fatal to all 3 girls. Essa and Kelsey died at the scene on impact. Savannah Webster was critically injured and later died in the hospital. It was just so bad. And the crazy part is that you don't really have to be, sometimes like, oh, you don't have to stand on the train tracks, even if you kind of run and, you know, you're still like, oh, at the last moment you're trying to escape. I think the physics behind the speeding train and the air that it's warping around itself, it's just like it can just pull you back in, and then you die, and you're struck anyway. Did they not hear it? Well, I guess they did. Like, that's the thing, because there was another train that just passed. They thought it was that train because there were 2 trains, right? So they avoided the first train because they saw it. So they were like, oh, okay, you know, they were kind of like standing away from the other tracks, right? Because there's double tracks. So this is the one that they were standing on. There was probably another track somewhere here, and that train passed. So they thought it was that train, but then they didn't notice that there's another train approaching from the opposite direction, and that's how it ended. It's crazy. It's crazy. Don't trains pull you into it due to physics? Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Like, oh, a speeding train, if you're standing close enough to it, it's gonna pull you in because of the airflow and, yeah, like physics behind it. So it's, yeah, it will basically pull you in, and you're dead anyway. It takes a train about a mile to make a complete stop to do so too. So yeah, there was no way. And it was so close. It was so close to them that, yeah, there was no way they could have avoided it. Like, I mean, they could have, but then there's like another track, and that other train was passing, and it's not like, oh, it already passed, right? Like, train isn't very short, right? Like train has cars and it's long. So I assumed that the other train was passing and they just didn't know that there was another one approaching. So unfortunately, that's just really odd that they got a perfect shot of their deaths. Yeah, it's strange. It feels strange to look at this, right? Because it's literally seconds from disaster, seconds from their death, and yeah, it's a strange feeling looking at this picture. Okay. Same situation if you try to take pictures on a road. Don't do that, people. Yeah, don't take selfies near train tracks, near a passing train, near like busy road. Just don't do it. Or like stand far away so that you know like, oh, okay, I'm gonna be safe. Like there's no way nothing's gonna hit me, right? Just be safe. Don't take selfies. Mind you, don't take selfies in dangerous areas. Same thing with like taking selfies or pictures on the edge of like, oh, I've seen these so many times, but like taking selfies on like very edge of a canyon or something. Just don't do that. Or like a cliff or whatever. Like don't. Because you might lose, you're focused on the phone and you might lose your footing, you might lose your balance and then fall. There was so many cases of people taking selfies and then on the edge of something or like in high places. And they just like, because they were focused on the camera and taking the shot, the perfect shot, they just lost their balance and fell to their death. So maybe not. Well, they did say YOLO. Oh my God. No, for me it's I don't feel the YOLO effect anymore. I don't feel it. I feel like the tanping, isn't it? Tanping. That's lying flat. That's in did I pronounce it correctly? I don't know, but tanping is basically lying flat in Chinese and just that's a trend. Like, oh, just do nothing. Be safe, do nothing, lie flat and just, you know, live your life. Like this. I thought they said cheese. No. Who says YOLO anymore? I mean, now it's FOMO. Now it's like basically instead of YOLO, it's like FOMO, right? Like fear of missing out. Those days are over for YOLO. Yeah, I think YOLO's been kind of in the background, but like, oh, it's been taking a step away from the spotlight. It's not a YOLO, it's more like, oh, yeah, like recent years it was like FOMO, right? So like just, oh, people just doing shit because they fear of like missing out on things. But now there's this, the trend of like tanping, so just lying flat. Lying flat and doing nothing. Just enjoying the moment. Enjoy the moment, that's the tanping. Just enjoy the moment. Well, they did say cheese. Now they are as flat as processed cheeses. Does anyone even say goat anymore? Hey, Goatman says goat. Okay, Goatman forever. Also, goat. Yeah, of course people say goat. I know what goat means, but also it means a goat. So of course people say goat. I don't care if people say goat for it in the, you know, the other meaning, but goats. Okay. The last story, oh my God. Okay, you guys brace yourselves for the last story because I think it's the worst. The last one is truly the worst out of those 5 stories. So this picture, then we have this photo of 2 police officers standing in what appears to be a front gate to someone's property, someone's house, right? One of the officers is seen covering his face with his hand, visibly bothered by something. Turns out that this photo was taken outside of Andrea Yates, of the house of Andrea Yates and her family of, you know, 5 children, her husband. And this photo, right, was taken right when they discovered that Andrea Yates had murdered her 5 children by drowning them inside the house. So Andrea was a former nurse married to Rusty Yates. The couple had 5 children and Andrea was a stay-at-home mother. Andrea had a history of severe mental health issues, including postpartum depression, so PPD, also postpartum psychosis and schizophrenia. On June 2001, Andrea Yates methodically drowned her 5 children in the bathtub of their home in Houston, Texas. She started with her youngest children and worked her way up to the eldest. And those were very, very young children. The youngest was 6 months old. So after drowning each child, she would take them out of the bathtub and basically laid their bodies on the bed, covering them with a sheet. The victims were 7-year-old Noah, 5-year-old John, 3-year-old Luke, and 6-month-old Mary. No, wait, what? Wait, why is it 4 and not 5? Did I miss one? Hold up. I might have missed one. I might have missed one child. I'm sorry. I don't, why do I not have it in my notes? Why did I list 4 of them? Well, anyway, there were 5 children. I apologize that I forgot about one child. There were 5. So after drownings, Andrea actually called 911 and then called her husband Rusty, telling him to come home immediately. But she would like refuse both. If you say so. The child is her tummy. Oh, is in her tummy. No. Like, so there was 6-month-old Mary and then 4 other children. So there was Noah, John, Luke, and one more child that I guess like I missed in my notes. And wait, let me double check because I wanna know the name of the last kid. Yeah, let me see. Cause I'm pretty sure. Okay, so there's Noah Jacob, John Samuel, Paul Abraham, so Paul. So Noah, John, Paul, Luke, and Mary. Those are the 5 children. Sorry, I missed Paul. Paul, please forgive me, I apologize. But yeah, so there were Noah, John, Paul, Luke, and Mary. Oh yeah, okay. Dorothy, thank you so much for the super. Yeah, I just checked it because for some reason I didn't write it in my notes, or I missed one. Okay, so after the drownings, she did call 911, but she wouldn't tell the 911 dispatcher like what was wrong. She was saying like, "Oh, I need police in my house," and the dispatcher would constantly ask her, would keep asking like, "But ma'am, like what's happening? What's happening? Why do you need police at your home, at your house?" And she was just like, "No, I just need an officer. I just need officers. Please come quick. I'll explain later, but like, oh, I need police here." And then she would call her husband and she would tell him to come home immediately, but she would refuse to disclose the reason. And Rusty eventually called back. He kept calling her back and asking like what is happening, and eventually he called back and asked if anyone was hurt, and Andrea responded, quote, "Yes, the children. It's the children." So the police arrived and found the bodies of the 5 children. Andrea calmly confessed to the murders and explained her actions to the authorities. It's just crazy. Like I mean, what explanation? Well, there's very simple explanation. Like, yeah, I did it. Okay, so in 2002, Andrea Yates was charged with capital murder. Her defense argued that she was insane at the time of the killings and, due to her like plethora of mental illnesses and, the PPD. The prosecution acknowledged her mental illness, but contended that she was aware of her actions and that her actions were wrong. On March 12, 2002, she was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 40 years. But then there was a plot twist. In 2005, her conviction was overturned by an appeals court due to false testimony by a prosecution witness. In her retrial in 2006, Andrea was found not guilty by reason of insanity and was committed to a high-security mental health facility in the North Texas State Hospital. And later she was transferred to Kerrville State Hospital, a low-security mental health facility. So at least, like, okay, she was still in isolation at least at the beginning, and then she was transferred to like a lower security mental health facility. Prior to the murders, Andrea had experienced postpartum psychosis, which is a severe mental illness that can occur after childbirth, and she just gave birth to 6 months old, right? Like 6 months before, she gave birth to Mary. So this condition, postpartum psychosis, is characterized by hallucinations, delusions, and severe mood swings. So that's what she was experiencing. She had been hospitalized multiple times and had attempted suicide on several occasions. Her treatment included various antipsychotic medications, which were sometimes stopped due to side effects or perceived improvements in her condition. So she was kind of taking them like on and off. And in the end, that wasn't good for her because it turned out that her condition wasn't really improving. It was actually getting worse. And leading to the murders, there were lapses in her medical treatment and yeah, again, like lack of continuous psychiatric care. The public was honestly on the fence. They were divided about this case because some people were expressing sympathy for Andrea due to her mental health issues and the PPD. Other people were focusing on the horrific nature of the crime, the fact that she knew what she was doing. She was murdering her 5 children. It's not like she murdered one and she, you know, realized what she was doing and she left the other 4. She continued 5 times. Like, it was a whole process. So people, in that sense, people had no sympathy for her, but some still believe that, okay, well, this was a very serious mental health condition. The system failed her, the hospitals failed her, doctors, and she didn't get the care that she should have gotten, and her treatment wasn't done properly. That's why it led to this tragedy. I've heard about a case like this. A woman would suffocate all her children for a reason I forgot about. I believe she killed about 9 kids. Oh my god, 9? Believe it or not, my criminal justice teacher arrested her. Well, I mean, yeah, like, I think even if that person doesn't go, you know, they plead insanity and it's proven that yes, they are suffering from, you know, some sort of mental illness. I'm sorry, I have allergies and my throat and my nose is just like, yeah, no, refusing to work with me. Wait, hold up. Give me a moment. Okay, I'm good. Okay, so even if it's proven, like it's, you know, there's evidence that the person in question is suffering from some kind of like very serious mental illness with hallucinations, delusions, and so on. I still think that after what happened, like after this kind of murder, this kind of tragedy, like they should absolutely not be, you know, like free. They should be in isolation. They should be getting treatment, but in a high security, you know, mental health facility, psychiatric facility, and for a long, long time, if not forever, because I'm sorry, but you know that you clearly need help, and what's done is done. It's not gonna take it back. And just because, you know, she was diagnosed with this pretty serious mental illness doesn't mean that everything resets and all of her actions are just like never happened, because 5 children lost their lives. So I think even if it's not prison, I think it's the right decision to put her in medical facility, in a psychiatric facility, and just let her continuously get treatment. Okay, not sure if I can sympathize. I mean, yeah, give her the help she needs, but wait, what she did was honestly truly awful. Yeah, that's why I'm saying, like, oh, it shouldn't be like, okay, even if I'm honestly on the fence here, on the fence, like, about like her motives and, you know, like the situation, because it's like, it is 5 times. It is 5 children's lives. So I am definitely on the fence. On one hand, I kind of feel like, okay, well, she murdered 5 children, like, obviously, you know, prison time. But on the other hand, like, okay, well, taking into account her medical history, like, yeah, like I think she should be in a psychiatric facility. I would just leave it at high security, like high security psychiatric hospital, for a long time, like if not forever. Imagine she had 50 kids. Well, I mean, I don't want to imagine that. 5 kids is, or 1 kid. Murdering 1 kid is already bad enough. It already deserves a life sentence. I'm sorry, like that's, yeah, like 1 kid, like, because it's a child. They can't defend themselves. One of them was 6 months old. 6 months, and from what I was reading in the article, she actually, like, she drowned the baby. She left it to float in the bathtub. Like, she left Mary in the bathtub to just float in the bathtub for a while. And then, like, while she was arranging the other kids, the ones that she had already drowned in the bed, and then she took Mary. She also, like, put her in the bed. And I think from what I was reading, the oldest kid, Noah, he was trying to run away because he was 7-year-old, so he was aware of what's happening, right? Like, he was definitely, like, not, he saw what was happening with his siblings, and he was trying to run away. He was trying to run from his mom, and she actually, like, just caught him. Like, she caught up to him and grabbed him, and she did the same. So it's not like they were unaware, that the kids were unaware, or she was, like, tricking them, thinking that, oh, we're just going to take a bath or something. It's not like she, like, yeah, she did that with first few kids, but then Noah was completely aware of what was happening, and he was trying to run away, and she still caught him, and she still, like, forced him into the bathtub and forcefully drowned him. So I'm very much on the fence with this one. I mean, I'm not on the fence with the fact that she should be isolated, and she should be isolated for pretty much her whole life. But yeah, like, yeah, I do think that the mental health issues should be taken into account when choosing the proper, like, place of isolation, right? Taxman, thank you so much for the super. I came for fear and taxes, not depression. I'm sorry. Yeah, like, this one, the last one was the worst. I gotta say that the last one was definitely, to me, it was the worst. And yeah, but yeah, that's the last story, you guys. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you found the pictures and the stories interesting. I'm sorry, like, I know it's all incredibly sad. I know some of them are horrifying. Let me just, yeah. I mean, all of those cases are horrifying, honestly. But the last one hits the worst. Like, 5 kids. But yeah, let's take another look at Joey, the not polar bear, polar grizzly bear. Well, grizzly albino bear. Justice for Joey. Give her the self-hugging jacket. I'm pretty sure they're taking proper measures. Thank you for the stream. Yeah. Well, this one is shorter, but I did want to chat, like, after the cases. I did want to chat with you guys a little bit more. Depression text. I ain't a bastard. What? Could you recap Joey's story for Shy Shy? Oh, sure. I mean, sure, it's a great story. Well, I mean, this is the story of the unluckiest bear in the world. If you're just tuning in, let me just recap very quickly what happened with Joey. Joey is a grizzly bear with albinism, so he kind of looks like a polar bear. He lived in the northern American forest, and yeah, he was noticed by the animal protection organizations, like several times, and they would mistake him for a polar bear, and several times he got tranquilized and transported to the Arctic, even though he's not meant to be there. And yeah, he would be having a hard time hunting, and he would get bullied by actual polar bears because he was smaller. And yeah, it was just a back and forth situation. He would get taken back to North America a couple of times and back to the Arctic a couple of times. And then eventually he was put in a zoo with polar bears in the polar bear enclosure because he cannot catch a break. And yeah, eventually someone realized, like, hey, this is actually a grizzly bear with albinism, so let's leave him alone. No, don't bring him to the Arctic. Just leave him alone. Poor Joey, justice for Joey. I can't even imagine hurting a child, let alone 5, even if it was if I was mentally ill. Well, yeah, like I think her condition, Andrea's condition, as I said, like it was pretty severe. It's not an still not an excuse for murdering so many children. She still deserves punishment and trial and punishment, like appropriate punishment. But yeah, like her condition was severe, like it was hallucinations, delusions, and whatnot. Still doesn't change what she's done. Still horrible, and I think it's just that she would be isolated for a very long time. But back to Joey. Joey is back in North America. He's fine. Hopefully this time, like no one's gonna ever bother him again. No one's gonna like bring him to the Arctic again and again and again, because holy shit. What else? Did I have anything else? Oh yeah, like I do have. Okay. Wait, hold up. I do have something else. You guys remember this? And this is Wild Thing. That is the world's ugliest dog. Well, I mean, he was titled the word. I talked about it in my previous stream, but this is Wild Thing. He was titled the world's ugliest dog in 2024. He is the cutest. He cannot pull his tongue into, like, he can't keep his tongue in his mouth because of some kind of jaw condition, like condition in his jaw or some problems with his jaw. So he just sticks his tongue out, but his name is Wild Thing. The fact that I'm sorry, I can't get over the fact that his name is Wild Thing, because he looks like a wild thing. It's just so cute. But yeah, he's apparently very, very lovable, very cute. He loves people, he loves playing, and yeah, he's very shaggy. His hair is they don't cut his hair, so he looks like a little gremlin, and he's the cutest. He's a Pekingese, like the breed is Pekingese, so he's cute. He loves cuddles. Actually, so everyone was kind of making fun of the not Wild Thing. Everyone was making fun of the world's ugliest dog competition, because they were like, oh, this is so cruel. Like you're just running this competition to make fun of the dogs, but it's actually not that. They actually the purpose, the target of the world's ugliest dog competition is, the organizer said, like, oh, it's to show that, oh, no matter what the dog looks like, they are lovable. We want to show that these dogs are wonderful. They love people, they love to play, and they are lovely dogs. Some of them were up for adoption, so they were also trying to promote, like, getting these dogs adopted, getting them a forever home. I think Wild Thing was actually not for adoption, like he had an owner, but yeah, like there were several other dogs that were through this competition they were adopted, and they got their home, and loving owners. So yeah, Wild Thing. Fuck, I love this dog. I want this dog. It's so cute. It's so cute, and this little tongue. So cute. Wild Thing looks so fluffy. He's so fluffy. He's so fluffy. Then why is it called the world's ugliest dog competition? Because they are not. That's the thing. Like, oh, they're saying, like, yeah, these dogs might not be visually pretty, but they are beautiful on the inside, and they have so much love. That's the thing. Like, oh, it wasn't meant to like make fun of the dogs. They were just like, okay, well, we want to show that these dogs, no matter what they look like, they are still loving animals, loving pets, and they deserve a forever home. That's it. Yeah. I want a plushie of this dog. I want a plushie of this dog too. It's so cute, man. I hope that someone did that. I hope that the owners did that, because like this is a thing. That's a brand. Wild Thing is a gremlin looking puggy. Yeah. We can text the plushie. Sure. To give them more love from afar. Yeah. Exactly. Give the doggos so much love. The ugly doggos so much love. Pretty doggos deserve love, and ugly doggos deserve love. Also, like, okay, yeah, it's called like ugly dog competition, but But honestly, it's subjective, right? Like I actually think that Wild Thing was not ugly, and he's not ugly at all. He's actually super cute. So see, it's very subjective. Wait, let me just wait. World's ugliest dog. World's ugliest dog 2024. Wild Thing. So cute. He's 8 years old. He's an 8-year-old Pekingese and has been crowned the winner of this year's World's Ugliest Dog competition. But yeah, it's so cute. He's 8. Oh my god, some of them. Okay, some of them are pretty. Oh god. Wow. Some of them are a lot. I gotta say, like, I'm just kind of looking at some of the dogs and damn. You guys can like type it in, World's Ugliest Dog 2024. Some of them are a lot, a lot to look at. Oh my god. But they're cute in their own way. See, like they're shaggy. They're like weird looking, but they're not. I still think they're so lovable. They're still cute. In their own way, they're still cute. So, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, it's so cute. Like, come on. Wild Thing is super, super cute. And yeah, I'm looking at all those doggos and... yeah, they're not... I wouldn't say they're pretty. No, they're not pretty, but they're... Are they cute? Yeah, they're cute. Super cute. Oh my god. The second... Oh, the second place is kind of... He also has like the tongue is kind of out. I think like he's also keeping his own tongue out because probably some kind of condition, but yeah, doggos. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for today. I did have fun. I enjoyed talking to you about Joey, about Wild Thing, and yeah, well, I maybe, you know, it's not right to say that I enjoyed talking about these cases. I did find them interesting, and it's interesting to know the story behind those pictures, because I wouldn't have guessed. I wouldn't have known the story behind those pictures had I not like checked, right, the case. One of the dog is disabled. Yeah, like I think there's a couple of them that had some kind of medical issues. But yeah, all of them are cute. Still doesn't change the fact they're cute. Yeah, I saw last year. Some are quote unquote ugly, but most are just adorable. I think all of them are like adorable in their own way, right? Like, yeah, they're not pretty. I wouldn't say, like, again, like a lot of them, I wouldn't say they're pretty. I would say that Wild Thing is actually pretty. Like in this picture, he's adorable. He's just like a ball of floof. But yeah, like there are some that are not pretty, but they are still cute. Sunday is the story sharing stream. Yeah. Well, it's sorry. Tomorrow is Fearcast, not Sunday. Let me pull up my schedule. So this is Fearcast is tomorrow. So Friday 6 p.m. is Fearcast. So we're gonna share our own creepy stories, and then Sunday, if my polygraph machine gets here, then it's a birthday celebration stream during which I'm gonna be taking the polygraph test. And if my machine doesn't get here, device doesn't get here, then I will have a normal true crime case. So there's gonna be a case on Sunday, either a case or the birthday stream. So tomorrow, please remember, if you are my moderator on Discord, or if you are a Ruby or Diamond tier Patreon member, then you can go to my Discord, and we're gonna be joining, you know, we're gonna have a call at 6 p.m. Pacific time in the appropriate voice channel, and yeah, that's it's gonna be a stream. It will be a stream here on YouTube, so please remember to tune in. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for today. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Stay safe out there. Always lock your doors and windows. Bear your hexes. Until the next time. Bye. Demon Taker, thank you so much for being a member for 17 months. Tuna bless. Bless indeed. Wait, do I have a... Oh, jellyfish don't have a brain. That's a fun fact for today. Jellyfish do not have a brain. That's it. They just jelly. They're just jelly and yeah. And the jelly body and the tentacles, I guess. That's it. Do I have anything else? Did I have anything else? More fun facts, Sona? Wait, do I have any? Okay, I got something. I've got one thing. What did the whales? Let me look at. Jesus Christ. I had like... Oh, okay. I do have a fun fact. So according to a study in 2016, the Greenland shark is the longest lived vertebrate on the planet and can live up to 500 years. So the Greenland shark can live up to 500 years. That's a very long life. 500! Well, did I tell you guys that rats laugh when they are tickled? Apparently they like to be tickled by humans. Like there was some kind of experiment or study that, you know, they ran on rats and they were like giving them like tickles or rubs and the rat would just like start laughing. Well, you can't... Okay, so apparently they registered the sound, but human ear can't really register it. So the laugh is actually like a high-pitched sound that we can't... Like our ear cannot register that sound, but that's the rat laugh. That's how it was. Also, the world's smallest cat is called Tinker Toy, and it's just 7 centimeters tall. Well, I mean, it was at least. Yeah, that's it. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for today. I hope you enjoyed fun facts at the very end of the stream, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!